In wholesale real estate, there's a popular type of motivated seller that we often refer to as a tired landlord. A tired landlord is simply an investor who is burned out from owning and managing a rental property and might be interested in selling that unwanted property at a discount that you can wholesale for a profit. On this video, I'm going to break down why this is one of my personal favorite types of leads, how to identify a tired landlord, and how to get an unlimited list of tired landlords in your area, and some of the best ways to contact them to see if they want to sell that unwanted property. First of all, it's important to understand that a tired landlord is more common than you think. The majority of single-family rental properties are owned by mom and pop investors who have less than 5 rental properties. Many of them got into rentals on accident or at least unintentionally. Maybe they moved out of state and rather than sell their property, they thought it would be a smart investment to turn it into a rental. Or maybe they inherited mom's house and turned it into a rental. Or maybe they read the Purple Bible and thought it would be smart to buy a bunch of rentals with high hopes of replacing their income so that they can retire and hang out with Jerry on the beach in Puerto Rico. Only to find out the banks wouldn't finance any more properties and they can't afford the down payments to acquire enough to have any real impact on their finances. These mom and pop operators with 5 or less rentals were set up to fail from the get-go because they don't have enough properties to really systematize or create a business. Now, I often joke that you either need to own 100 rentals or none at all. So often what happens is these small-time investors end up self-managing their rentals. They become what I call weekend warriors, collecting rent, doing the repairs themselves, and personally dealing with bad tenants and evictions. Before long, they realize rentals are more hassle than they're worth and become jaded, resentful, and tired of those rental properties. Even the 10% of rental property owners who have more than 5 properties and have built a business owning rentals, even they have problem properties. These are rentals that just seem to always perform poorly. All it takes is another vacancy that needs renovated again before it can be rented out again, and that buy and hold investor is ready and motivated to sell. One of my favorite free strategies to find tired landlords that is extremely effective is to call for rent signs. If the call goes to voicemail, I'll say, "I'm calling about your house for rent on 123 Main Street. Call me." Now, when they call me, I'll say, "I'm not interested in renting your property. I actually work with a group of investors and we're looking to buy for all cash a property in this neighborhood, and I'm calling to see if you're interested in selling this property." If they say no, I follow up with, "Do you own any other problem properties that you'd like to sell? The condition doesn't matter." Now, the reason why calling for rent signs is effective is because the property is vacant. That means the investor isn't earning revenue. They may have just gone through an eviction and are sick and tired of that property. It's the perfect time for a landlord to be a tired landlord. In fact, I actually did a video where I show how effective this is by calling for rent signs live on Craigslist. Now, I'll put the link to that video in the description below and you can watch it later. Craigslist is a common place for landlords to post for rent properties, and it's free. I even developed a Craigslist deal finder software tool that finds tired landlords and other motivated sellers, and I'll give it to you for free. I'll put the link in the description below for that as well. All I ask in return is you leave a comment and say, "Thank you, Jerry, you are a flipping genius." Seriously though, when you watch me call tired landlords live, you'll see why I love this type of lead so much. The conversation is much different than talking to distressed homeowners. Distressed seller leads like pre-foreclosure, probate, and delinquent on taxes are homeowners who are going through a difficult time emotionally and financially. It's their personal residence where they live, so effectively working with and helping distressed homeowners requires compassion and empathy. You need to put yourself in their shoes and try to understand what they are going through. They often need someone's shoulder to cry on, so to speak, and your ability to gain their confidence by being a good listener is very important. When I work directly with distressed homeowners, we hardly even talk about the house because that's usually not the most important thing to them. Maybe you're really good at that. For me, I've been doing real estate for almost 20 years and I've done thousands of deals, so it's much more difficult for me to shift into the right mindset. I naturally tend to be a little more mechanical. I tend to be all about the numbers, and to me it's just another deal, so I have to really focus on being present with the seller. But not with tired landlords. They're investors, and other than maybe complaining about their tenants, for the most part, it's all about the numbers for them too. You can cut right to the point and make your low cash offer, and they're either gonna say yes, no, or maybe, and you get to skip the gooey show of emotion.
This gooey show of emotion.
That's why I love Tired Landlords. Although I did talk to a tired landlord who was extremely rude to me, and I was in a bad mood that day, and I was rude back. I trash out every day. What the? I actually recorded the call and I did a video all about it and how not to talk to a seller. So if you want to see Jerry go batshit crazy, I'll put the link to that video as well in the description below for you to watch later. So now let's talk about another method to go after tired landlords in a big way. You're gonna love this. If you think about it, a person who owns a rental property means they own a property that is not their primary residence. It's not the home they live in. That means the owner of record for a rental property is different than the rental property address. When someone owns a property that is not their home they live in, we call that person or lead an absentee owner. Absentee owners are another lead type that wholesalers target because, as I've explained, maybe that absentee owner is a tired landlord. Well, imagine if you could get a list of all of the absentee owners in your area that you could market to. Wouldn't that be powerful? Well, that list is going to cost you some money, right? Nope. Let me show you how to get an unlimited number of absentee owners in your market and 2 ways to narrow down your list to the most motivated tired landlords. Again, all for free using a software called PropWire. Now, if you haven't heard of PropWire, it's the best thing to happen to real estate since Zillow. Basically, it's a free website where you can search and download an unlimited number of motivated seller leads, absolutely free. PropWire's database of 157 million properties includes vacant houses, pre-foreclosures, REOs, auctions, empty nesters, high equity properties, probate, and absentee owners, and even a unique list called Tired Landlords. So let me show you how this works. Okay, so go to joinpropwire.com, and when you land on the page here, let's say that we want to look at Phoenix, Arizona. So we select Phoenix, Arizona, and let's go down to our lead types, and let's click absentee owner, and then let's search. And what you can see here is you'll see a map on the left, and you'll see all of these different properties here. And if I put my mouse over it, you'll see it kind of lifts those up. And over here on the right, it also shows me a list. There's 187,000 absentee owners in Phoenix, Arizona. Now that's a big market, so we could certainly narrow that down. So let me show you a couple things we could do. We could say all types of properties, but let's just say single family, and let's just say we're looking for individuals and businesses. So we'll put both individuals and businesses, absentee owners, single family, and that brought our search down to 107,000. Still a lot of properties. Now I could narrow this down and look at just a specific zip code, but for now I want to show you a couple other layers of how we can create even a more condensed motivated seller list. Because again, absentee owner just means that the owner of record does not live in the property. So as you can see though, in Phoenix, that's still a lot of properties. So what I could do instead is, instead of absentee owner, what I could do is I could do out of state. So now not only is this an absentee owner, the owner lives outside of, in this case, Arizona. That brought our list down to 19,000. Now, why is that a powerful list? Well, it's already difficult to manage rental properties when they're close by. Imagine how much more difficult it is when you live out of state. That makes it even more difficult. Plus, these could be people who have moved away for like a job transfer and they still own the property. So absentee owner is a great motivated seller list. Out of state absentee owners is even better. Okay, so that's one way to create more of a highly concentrated motivated seller list, is to do out of state owners. The other way you can do this with PropWire is if I go to the advanced tab, then owner details, and then over here, years of ownership. Let's say I want to put 10 years. Now, the reason why this increases motivation is because the longer someone's owned a rental property, the idea would be maybe they're more burned out or they're ready to sell it. Okay, so let's click Save and Close, and that brings our list down to 6,000. So now we've got a very manageable list. Well, what do I do now with this list? If I want this list of 6,000, check this out. I'm going to go ahead and say, select all. Then click on this, and there's my list. And then I just click download, and then it's gonna ask me how much of the information do I want. So I just checkbox how much of that I want, and then click download, and it will download all 6,000 of those absentee owners that are out of state, that have owned the property for 10 years or more. That is a powerful list. Okay, so what do you do now that you have a list? Well, you have several options. You could send a direct mail letter or postcard to your list. You could skip trace the list to get phone numbers. Once you have a phone number, you can text, cold call, or send ringless voicemail, RVM messages to those sellers, or have an inexpensive virtual assistant or VA do it for you. It all depends on your marketing budget and how many deals you want to do. Be sure to check back often with PropWire because over time they're going to add additional marketing services like skip tracing. But here's what I would do right now if I were you. If you're a wholesaler, go to Flipster and upload your list. From there, you can do all sorts of things that I just mentioned. You can use the Done For You direct mail tool. You can skip trace and cold call using the scripts provided. You can send text and RVM. If you want to scale and do multiple deals per month, you can use the VAs offered right in Flipster. There are even deal analyzers, comps, and digital contracts, and really everything you need to wholesale and flip houses. Best of all, there is a workflow so you can easily organize each property from a lead all the way to a deal. There is a subscription for Flipster, but you can check it out on a free 7-day trial to see if you love it. Just go to joinflipster.com. And let me know if you'd like me to do more videos where I break down different motivated seller leads, and I'll see you on the next video.